me having a new professional journey.
More things that you haven't done.
Speaking the good gospel.
Another reason to look forward to next year.
Absolutely.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to the WODdoc Project 365, episode 1354. Guys, if you're following along on YouTube, please jump on over to thewoddoc.com. Check out all of our full-length videos. That's where we house them. Just finished up our Blades Advanced course out here at Performance Unlimited. I sat down with owner John. How do I say it? I want to Litton.
Yep.
John Litton has an awesome facility out here. We just start chatting about some different aspects. Always looking to like pick different people's brains and find great information. And he started talking about the 7 pillars of like happiness. And I really wanted him to explain those to us and kind of give me your spiel, like you reiterated, because it was like it just sounded so great. Hopefully, hopefully I don't put too much pressure on you. I'll be big.
Let's do it. So I think everybody out there, everybody that was just done with the course, we're in so much of an entrenched and focused journey about the physical development, whatever that result actually means for you. Weight loss, strength gain, power development, whatever that means. But what we're forgetting is all the other elements that either complement or contrast or conflict what those results may be. So what we did is really come up with 7 pillars that really are going to be a value multiplier. In other words, they're going to take your training and multiply that to the nth degree to help get your results either faster, more economical, or for a more sustainable time frame, right? So if you want me to, I'll just roll through the 7 pillars, right? Yeah. And then I can backtrack and talk to you about how I actually developed them and so on and so forth. So the first one is the filter that all of us actually go through. It's how you move. And all of these really break down into a lot of different details. They get into the trenches of building out new skills into being able to, ask better questions and how to audit yourself on that question on how you move in order to understand, how do I move? Am I moving well? Am I moving poorly? How do I continue to develop myself in the movement aspect? Where should I be as a 37-year-old male, wanting to do X, Y, and Z? So all of these questions, critical questions, are so key into being able to train well, train efficiently, and train effectively, right? So everybody's got the pillar or the filter of how we move. That's bar none. Everybody understands that. The next 6 are really where we can start to break out into really learning some bigger dynamics and really adding value to people. So the second one, and these are kind of in no particular order. I think they all kind of had an equal value amongst the movement process. But second one is how you eat. We all know the importance of that, and that can go into a lot of different directions. Third one, how you sleep. We all know the importance of sleep, but I think there's some real details that a lot of people don't pay enough attention to. How you manage stress. These are kind of the more esoteric ones, these next 4. How you manage stress can really define itself in a lot of different ways, and I think that we can define stress as it is individually for ourselves, whether it's emotional, psychological, financial stress, physical stress. It can be eustress, distress, positive or negative for you, however the matter may be. And the last 3 are undervalued. The last 3 are the ones that I feel most passionate about for the movers out there and being able to develop themselves. It's how you connect with yourself, how you connect with others, and how you connect with nature. And the beauty behind owning a gym, and the beauty behind being a part of a movement culture, whether that's Rock Tape, whether that's your local gym, whether that's working out with just a couple of other friends, is that community together has again, I'm going to use the term, a value multiplying effect in what you're able to do from a training standpoint. So your connection with those people next to you, your connection with yourself, whether that's more confidence, whether that's really creating more clarity in who you are and who you want to be. As well as defining how you're connecting with nature. That doesn't mean just go out and hug a tree, right? That means that can go into refining some simplification in our lives, getting so dialed into technology. We do that so much, but simplifying, taking a more stoic approach can be a holistic part of that connection with nature. Getting back to the way that our bodies were meant to perform and how we function from a biological standpoint would really kind of go back into that connection with nature, not to be confused with tree-hugging hippies, right?
Right. Very cool. So I think this is really cool. I think this is things that we can flush out and digest. And I would actually love, maybe we could get you on a podcast, talk a little bit more about. I do podcasts about once a quarter or so that way we can do like an hour-long type of thing and really
each one of those 7 could be an hour in itself for sure.
Exactly. But I love the idea of almost like streamlining, simplifying, decluttering, so to speak, your life to really see where your goals and values really lie, right?
And I know you do this better than anybody, right? You take a movement or a skilled movement that we want to be able to achieve. You assess it first, and we break down what are the requisites, the prerequisites of that movement. We want to assess where those are in our own ability, and then we start to build out these drills and these exercises to be able to develop that, so that the holistic framework of that movement skill becomes improved. Correct?
Right.
We don't do that in every other aspect of our lives, yet we should. And I would ask the question, why not? Why wouldn't we take the same framework that we have in movement, in training, and really piece that together and plop that into every aspect of our lives, whether that's the relationship that I have with my significant other, whether that's a relationship that I have with money, whether that's an idea of, shit, where do I even go in life? You know, what's my next step in life? Am I on the right direction or right path for me and my particular purpose? And am I passionate about what I'm currently on? So all of those things have to start with very, very important, what we would call critical questions. We don't ask enough critical questions of ourselves. We have a tendency to create noise. And I would put this analogy into training, right? So a lot of the training world right now is all about really high intensity effort, right? So we think that the more intense and the more often that we can create that intensity, the quicker our results are going to come, right? But we also know that we're only as good as our ability to recover. So we can't go intense all the time. We have to have these ebbs and flows of recovery before we actually push into intensity. Yet, the person that you and I know that ends up with chronic injury or an acute injury that ends up in surgery or something that drastic like that, a lot of times has this one dimension approach, this one speed approach of like all out, bar none, wake up, training twice a day, 5-6 days a week, screw recovery, screw sleep, I'm just going hard and fast to be able to get to that goal that I want to, that's a physical end result.
Right.
They very rarely get there, and if they do get there, it's very short sustained before they actually increase an injury or they just screw their metabolic pathways up to shit, and they can't even be able to get back there if they ever did were able to achieve it. So they never ask themselves questions along the way. What am I doing? How am I doing it? Is this right? Do I need to seek other trusted resources? Yada, 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 so on and so forth. We consistently are just training hard, and that could be noise. That can be just constant conflicting information for what we should be doing because we're just so set on what we think we should be doing.
Right.
So we are our own worst nightmare. So the first step is to ask good questions. The second step is to be able to surround yourself with people who can answer those questions for you. Right? A lot of times we have this perception in ourselves of that we're good or bad, and we typically either overvalue or undervalue what we do. But taking in a perspective of an external source, asking you as an expert, a trusted resource, what do you think about this pillar, this movement, this aspect of my life, really adds to the value and builds that whole collective norm of where I'm going, where I am now, and how do I actually get there.
Love it. John, I really do appreciate it. I appreciate everything
appreciate
you
you, man.
Allowed us to come in here. Performance Unlimited. Guys, check it out. Check out John. He's going to be up. We'll post up his information and stuff like that. Questions for me, comments, please post them below. Otherwise, guys, we're here each and every day optimizing function to optimize performance.